Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PWR Express for Thursday, August 13th, 2009. And, you know, it's unfortunate that you stumbled your drunk tail down here last week because the marketing team saw it and they were
giddy. They were giddy.
Moderately impressed by your performance somehow, some way or another.
That show went over well. I don't know what I did.
It's all about your emails today, ladies and gentlemen. PWR Q&A. Your questions, our answers. Let's start with Adam Turek, who says, I think I'm the only person that thinks the X Division belt should expand more so that hardcore guys like Abyss or Rhino can compete for it. Despite what some think, it isn't technically a cruiserweight belt. And the notion of no limits could surely mean no rules, too. Do you agree, or does it sound too gimmicky?
No.
I only suggest this because I don't see Abyss wrestling for the world belt anytime soon. That from Adam Turek.
Well, Adam, the A in Q&A, I'm going to let you know that I think it's a great idea.
No, you're the A in Q&A.
Hey, now. Why not? Again, if the X Division title is no limits, 2 words for you, no limits.
Are there any soldiers involved?
No limits.
For those of you that don't recall, they were part of a WCW, which is a defunct company that went out of business and was purchased by WWE in 2001.
I don't see a problem with it. Again, there's no rules, no limits. There should be no definition, really. It's an X Division.
Like you, no definition.
Well, I've got definition. I just can't show my
Can't be
stuff.
cut like this guy. Thank you very much, Adam. Let's go on now to a user on YouTube by the name of Black Lashley's, something like that. After watching Ric Flair return back around WrestleMania 25, it started to frustrate me. This is because I had paid good money to watch WrestleMania 24 to watch the match between HBK and Flair, to find out whether or not Flair would finally be retired. This situation brought tears to my eyes and went down as a great moment in wrestling history. When I heard that Flair had returned, I felt spat on by WWE and Flair as they have yet again found a way to let down a loyal fan. Now I know the match that Flair had against Orton was debatable, but in my eyes it went against what the match at 24 stood for. He went out there for a match. I have lost all respect and passion for the product because of these kind of events. What are your thoughts on this situation?
It's unfortunate.
Some anger in there.
But you know what? That means that's the kind of guy that the wrestling business wants. He cares.
Mm-hmm. Or cared.
Past tense. It's unfortunate, but you're the kind of fan, and there's nothing wrong with this, you're the kind of fan they want because they work you. You're the kind of guy that the circus wants. They work you. Do you know how the term mark came about? Back in the Carney days?
No.
When the workers would see somebody that was gullible, and again, I'm not saying you're gullible, but the workers would see somebody that was gullible, they'd mark the hand. So all the Carney workers knew who to get. So, in closing, it's unfortunate. Try again. Try TNA. Try WWE. Maybe they'll do something that you care about.
This next email comes from an emailer who didn't leave a name, but said, I had a balanced opinion on the Raw guest host thing, but then I spoke to a few NBA fans, and they said they have gotten into wrestling since Shaq was the GM. So, do you think that this guest host thing is good for the company? However, everyone on, as Meathead says, the internet hates Raw's product at the moment, and I'm not one of them.
The guest host thing, we've gone ad nauseum about the guest host thing. If you get a celebrity or a person to host Raw, get one that knows about the product, not just one there to pimp his stuff. Jeremy Pitt, Dr. Ken, whatever the naked guy from Hangover's name is. Get one that knows. Shaq is a wrestling fan. Shaq also is identical in size to the Big Show, except for in girth.
He might be a little bit taller.
Why were you thinking about that? I wasn't thinking about that.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't have a sophomore moment?
Girth. Gross.
I abhor you.
Oh, we're using big $10 words.
I have disdain for you.
I don't know what to tell you.
Timothy Lashley sent in this email that says, how's it going? Great. I was watching SmackDown a couple of weeks ago and saw the Pretty Ricky gimmick by R-Truth. What do you guys think about it? I asked a couple of friends of mine, and one of them said, this a-hole, quote unquote, this a-hole has just set black people back 500 years. And I agree.
500 years, that's a little harsh. Because 500 years, you guys were doing good, right? Just kidding. Just kidding. That's a joke.
Yeah, we were still the homeland, not being worked by you, the man.
Exactly. That's just a joke for him and me.
We weren't rowing the boat.
As an African-American male, I get it.
Timothy goes on to say, I think this is completely unnecessary. I previously read an article and it says that this gimmick was Ron's idea and Vince actually likes it. Now I know why TNA let Ron go, because it wouldn't let him do stupid crap like this.
All it is, and again, it's admitted, Ron the Truth Killings admitted this, it was just a take of Blue Streak. Martin Lawrence's character from Blue Streak. It's just a way to be funny. He's goofing off. He's still, what's up, Ron Truth? That doesn't take you back? I mean, because he's being a remember, wrestling, unfortunately, is about stereotypes. Am I
sure,
wrong?
People respond to, even those that don't think they do. Donald Weiner sent this in. Where were AJ Styles and Matt Morgan during the TNA Company brawl? Each had a vested interest in participating in that wonderful segment. Every now and then, a truly entertaining moment can still happen. It made no sense for them to be absent. Thanks.
This is all yours.
Donald, it made perfect sense because they were in the next match. And from a believability factor, that was one smart move made by TNA, because if you had these guys just in this epic brawl that had to be broken down or broken up by the Orlando police, then you can't go to commercial or go back to the ring and have two guys that were just in it flawlessly participating. Now, they could have done an injury angle where they were coming down hurt because they were just in that brawl, maybe perpetuated a little. It goes both ways.
Technically, those guys were in their locker room preparing for their match and had no vested interest in the brawl.
Jorge Carvajal says, the bridge may be burned, but how about Brock Lesnar as Raw guest host?
No. How about Brock Lesnar as a returning superstar?
Here comes the pain. Jorge goes on to say, and about WWE selling their soul to advertisers, what about the huge Stacker 2 logo in the middle of the TNA ring?
You're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, WWE isn't even as far as Nitro. Nitro did it too. Nitro's rings used to have Slim Jim logos all over it.
Snap into it!
Oh, yeah!
Sean sends this in. Big fan of the show. I was wondering if you could interview or have any of these guys on your show in the future. Sean Stasiak, Rene Dupree, Chuck Palumbo,
Had Rene Dupree.
Manga, Teddy Hart, and Paul Heyman.
I want Teddy Hart. Excuse me. No. That's Teddy Hart. I want Teddy Long.
Rene Dupree was on the show. Actually, a very interesting interview
Correct.
from a few months back. You can find that in the archive section of pwrshow.com or subscribe to iTunes and find that episode. We had this in from Donnie, who says, what are your thoughts on the Hurricane returning to WWE?
I agree with a user that I, again, forget the name, but he needs to get a haircut. He looks like a hobo. It's fun. It's fun.
I guess. Darnell Willison sent this in. Do you ever get sick of Meathead? Because I don't.
Look, I read all the YouTube comments. Okay, I read all the site comments. I read everything you guys do. And right now it's about 66-33. Apparently, I'm funny.
So what's the other 1%?
66.6666666 33.2333. 2/3 and 1/3. Apparently I'm funny. You know what? I'm not mad at you guys that think I'm annoying. I don't care.
But we don't let them hose.
We don't let them hose no more.
This has been PWR Express for Thursday, August 13, 2009. Be sure to tune in to PWR Primetime tomorrow, and another edition of PWR Express coming up tomorrow as well, and this Sunday. We're going to be live on ESPN Radio right after TNA Hard Justice.
We're going to be what?
Live.
Not this week.
What?
What?
Live.
Huh? We'll do it live! I'll write it, and we'll do it live!
To play us out, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you download the show on iTunes, subscribe on iTunes, and visit pwrshow.com. For Matt, they call me Dead. Unfortunately, we'll probably be here again next week. Davey and Nelson say thanks for tuning in to PWR Express. We'll see you tomorrow night with PWR Prime Time. pwrshow.com. Log on and win cash.